OK, so at the very end of the class, whenever we have spare time, we go through a couple of special topics. We're not going to talk about anything in too much detail, so nothing here is too technical. It's things that might be useful for the real world or things that people often ask about seeing. So the three special topics that we usually do in some sort of rotation are malware, Tor and anonymity, and Bitcoin. So let's try to go through each of those, starting with malware. So very quick reminder from last time, path reversal attacks are the example we used in last lecture, and these involve using .. to enter other directories. Then we talked about 3 places you can put detectors and their various trade-offs. We also talked about ways to measure detection accuracy, and we talked about trade-offs there. Then we talked about 4 ways you can detect things. So you can use allow lists, deny lists, build a model, or look for evidence of compromise. And then we finished by talking about some miscellaneous intrusion detection strategies. So that was what happened last time. So today is all about a special topic known as malware, and we'll talk about viruses and worms. We'll talk about how they propagate, how you detect them, and how you stop them. OK, malware, what is it? So this is kind of a catch-all term for any attacker code that does something malicious. So if you think back to all of this class, we've often been talking about attackers doing malicious things. For example, when an attacker runs a buffer overflow, the goal is to execute shellcode. If the attacker is running an XSS attack, the goal is to put some malicious JavaScript on a website. But what does that code actually do? What is the shellcode actually doing if it succeeds? And what is the malicious JavaScript doing if the attacker puts it on the website? Now, what that code actually does wasn't the focus of those attacks. But today, we'll actually look at those pieces of code and think about what they do and how we stop them. So malware is kind of a catch-all term. It encompasses any sort of attacker code that runs on computers of the victim. So that code could do anything that we want shellcode or malicious JavaScript to do. It could delete files, send spam emails, launch denial of service attacks, steal information, all sorts of things that attackers tend to do. So today is all about that code. And in particular, one common behavior that attacker code performs is spreading itself to other computers. So it's often the case that the malicious code that you run, like the shell code, not only attacks the current computer, but also tries to send a copy of itself to other computers so that it can automatically infect and attack other computers as well. So today is all about that specific application of malware and propagating to other computers. This is how attackers try to attack many computers with just one piece of malicious code.